wanted to make it a manageable disease, so you stay on the drugs.
This information is being suppressed.
Their number one goal is to sell drugs.
Hi, and thanks for watching. My name is Donald Barrett, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Barrett Report. Now, this is the Cannabis Radio Network, and I come to you live every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Tonight we have a great show, and it's very timely because we're going to be talking about the CBD and what's going on around the country with CBD, and some states are even coming out again and banning CBD. Now, if you're watching right now and maybe you're not familiar with what CBD is, it's actually the non-psychoactive part of the cannabis plant that has a lot of medicinal benefits. So we have a very interesting show on tap. We have a gentleman who has been trying to get his story out to major news organizations. I mean, I'm talking about major news organizations, because his daughters, who are mentally challenged, have had such tremendous results with CBD. So I want to welcome him to the show. His name is Frank Kahler. Let me welcome him to the show. Frank, are you with us?
Yes, I am, sir.
All right, Frank, thank you, and I want to welcome you to the Barrett Report. And so I want to thank you for taking time out of your day and being with us.
Well, I cannot thank you enough, Don, for what you do. You can't begin to imagine the amount of people that are going to benefit from your efforts, and mine, if you will.
Well, you know, there's so many people out there that are watching this video, or maybe they'll hear it on podcast, and they're confused about CBD. They've heard a lot about medicinal cannabis, but CBD is really one of the hottest products, and it's spreading like wildfire all over the country. But in some states, it's still very much illegal, and people are having challenges getting it for themselves or their loved ones in many cases. Tell me about your how you got started, Frank, and your daughters. Tell me a little bit about your story.
Well, it was purely accidental that I stumbled upon CBD on the net, began to research it, and it very quickly proved to me its value, its medicinal value, on a neurological level. And when I say neurological, the ailments or the maladies that this stuff is addressing or helping, the list is very long. Alzheimer's, dementia, epilepsy, seizures, schizophrenia, bipolar, ADHD, ADD, post-traumatic stress disorder, opiate addiction, depression, anxiety, Tourette's syndrome, autism, and even the mystery disease that affects my daughter.
But Frank, a lot of those are, and when you're saying these are CBD can help these conditions, a lot of that's anecdotal information. There's no really scientific backing or scientific data that proves or can prove that CBD works on those specific conditions. Am I right?
Well, I would have to agree with you. My evidence, based on what I have read over the last 2 years and the videos that I have seen on YouTube, and there's just irrefutable evidence concerning this stuff. And I think my story concerning my children cannot be ignored, because their neurological problems are very extreme, and still it helps them, it normalizes them, and I'll make that point in a moment.
Yeah, please tell me about your daughters and how you know what they go through and how CBD helps them.
Well, I'm gonna tell you my daughter's story second. Hers is the most lengthy and the most critical, in my opinion, because she has an undiagnosed physical disease after 37 years, coupled with some mental issues. Doctors aren't sure if the physical and the mental are connected, because there's no diagnosis for the original physical disease. So, about my son, he is 33 years old, and he suffers with rapid fluctuating bipolar disorder. I've seen this kid go from tears to smiles and back to tears again in 3 or 4 minutes. speeches every day in the meanest and most violent way. Doesn't matter who's around, in front of his own children even.
So he's a severe bipolar. Big
Yes.
ups and downs, up and downs. You never know what minute to the next.
Well, I asked my son about a dozen years ago what it was like inside of his head. And he said, do you know how people say they have racing thoughts? And I said, yeah. He said, I have 5 or 6 racing thoughts all at the same time, every day, all day. I can't begin to imagine how that feels to a person. Now, where his bipolar is concerned, it's not just an open and shut case of bipolar. There are a number of things that you should understand about my son. And after knowing these things, and also know that CBD helps, in my opinion, to normalize him. Okay? We're going to start with his birthday. He nearly died when he was born. His heartbeat went down to 9 beats per minute, where normally an inch. His head was stuck in his mom's birth canal. An emergency C-section was done, and doctors suggested that there might be minimal brain damage. Well, I can attest that there is damage. Now, twice before entering kindergarten, my son has some very severe head traumas. And I now suspect that he's suffering with some kind of concussive after effects, especially after learning what concussions are doing to football players.
Right.
And let me describe one of these traumas. Now, we've all seen a 2-year-old child standing there and then suddenly fall on his butt. Well, my son was standing on the front porch at the top step with his back to the steps, and he fell. And because there was a downgrade to the steps, if you will, it kind of whiplashed his head into the edge of the 3rd step. And even people that weren't looking or didn't see it, they screamed because it was so audible. And the moment that I picked my son up, it looked like my middle finger was laying across the back of his head. I mean, and I'll stop there with that.
So how old, Frank, let me interrupt. How old is your son today?
He's 33.
He's 33. Okay.
Yes.
So he's bipolar. And has he tried medications? A lot of the medications on the market for people that are bipolar.
He's afraid of them.
So he doesn't take any medication.
He has, when he was in jail, he didn't have no choice but to take them. But on a personal level, he's afraid of them because of the buildup in your liver and all the testing they have to do as you go along.
Okay. So keep going with his story. And how did he discover CBD? And I mean, how does it work? I mean, does it work right away when he takes CBD?
Well, I will answer that question. It works nearly instantly in every case that I have ever been involved in. But let me go back and finish his story because I think people need to understand all the neurological trauma that he has been through, and still CBD helps him. So I'll pick up when he went into kindergarten. They started him on Ritalin almost immediately. And at this point in time, I got to ask myself, if his current diagnosis is bipolar, was it bipolar back in kindergarten? Was ADHD the wrong diagnosis? Was Ritalin the wrong medication to give him? And most importantly, what damage did this medication do to my young son's nervous system? We may never be able to measure that. Move forward to his teens, and he started drinking liquor primarily for probably a better part of 10 years. He was just a complete drunkard. He's tried all the drugs, up to and including crack. He's been in jail. He's been homeless, and I strongly suspect that he is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder stemming from his homelessness. Because there are things that he has told me that he experienced while being homeless that just horrify me. And there are things that he will not tell anyone. So that's what makes me suspect that. He chain smokes, so he's addicted to nicotine as well.
And
And
his
so,
and his diet is probably terrible.
oh, absolutely, it's all fried. He eats in the middle of the night. Got constant, acid reflux.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's in very poor health.
Okay. All right. So tell me how CBD helps him, and how does he take it in the tincture form? Because there's so many different ways that people can take it.
Yeah, we tried capsules and ultimately wound up with the sublingual liquid. I am dead against edibles. I think they're toying with something that doesn't need to be toyed with. To me, making edibles, it just becomes a processed food to me. So after learning about the CBD, I told my son about it, and he eagerly wanted to try it. And so, not 15 minutes after my son took his first dose, there was a transformation in my son that was so obvious that it could not be ignored. Instead of raging and yelling at us, he spoke in low, even monotones. He became kind. I'm choking up here, Don.
Yeah.
He became kind and polite and mannerly. We saw a side of our son that we never got to see. You know, we had a normal son. So yeah, he is living proof beyond any shadow of a doubt that this stuff works.
And how long has he been taking the product now?
Well, the sad part of it is, Don, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. I gave my son 2 bottles of CBD on his birthday in August, a year apart, obviously, and it worked wonders. But he will not use his own money to go buy his own. He insists on drinking, if you will, and amongst other things. I don't know everything, but we cannot get him to do it on his own. He's always had that oppositional defect, oppositional disorder, I think they were calling it. And this kind of proves it. I don't understand how somebody can experience something so beneficial and not be reaching for it all the time.
Yeah, that's a tough situation. But you've seen it firsthand the first time he used it and how it worked for him.
It's 2 different people, Don. It's night and day, black and white.
Now, you know, we go. I don't want to fast forward too much on you, but I want to get to your daughter's story because we have a limited amount of time, and I want to make sure we can get it all in on this segment. And I want tell me about your daughter and her story.
Well, her physical disability did not become until she was around the age of 1 when she was attempting to learn to walk. Her feet pointed downward and her toes dragged with every step. And initially it was thought that she had cerebral palsy. That turned out to be wrong because about 3 or 4 years later they realized that it was progressive. By the time my daughter was 10 or 11, her ability to speak had faded away completely over a period of about 3 years. By the time she graduated high school, she was in a wheelchair, pretty much full time. And in early 2017, my daughter requested a feeding tube because she can no longer chew and swallow consistently.
And what was she diagnosed as? What?
They don't know. They don't know.
Like a mystery illness?
About 3 months ago. I'm sorry.
Like a mystery, like a mystery. They didn't know what the diagnosis was.
Well, she went to Kennedy Krieger and John Hopkins all her young life up until she was 18. And strangely enough, once she turned 18, all the testing stopped. I don't know why. But we recently just did get her involved in the genetics department at Hopkins, and they tested her for ALS, which turned out to be negative. They also tested me and her mother as well. So it was like back to square one. So now, as you can imagine, for somebody like my daughter, there's been some really severe depression and or psychosis, if you want to call it that, for the last 15 years. She's been hospitalized. She's been in a psych ward 6 or 7 times. There's been numerous, what I call godforsaken pharmaceutical drugs that never helped my daughter because the sad, unhappy, downtrodden, even bizarre thoughts.
Well, if she don't know what's wrong with her, she has no diagnosis, and the symptoms just keep getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, that's a horrible, horrible situation to be in.
It is.
Never mind to see your daughter in that situation. I mean, like I said, I would take all the pain away from my kids if I could in a second. I'm sure you would do the same because you love your kids.
That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why I'm talking to you now, Don. This isn't just about me and my kids anymore. This should be a global issue. And aside from my kids, it should be a global issue for this one reason. If you ingest cannabis or CBD oil, either one promotes homeostasis in the body.
Well, homeostasis is your body is healthy, and I always say, you can either take a nap or run a mile. If you're your body's in homeostasis, you can take a nap or run a mile. It's like you're a healthy person, and your body's always fighting to get back to homeostasis. And you're right, there is scientific evidence and research out there now showing that cannabis and CBD are creating or helping the body move towards homeostasis, and that's where we all want to be. But since it was actually banned in this country in 1939, I mean, disease has risen like never before. I mean, disease has gone up in virtually every category. I mean, from diabetes, heart disease, cancer, all types of cancers. And it's not getting better, and they give all these false reports out all the time. The pharmaceutical industry, like the 5-year on cancer. I'm really big on cancer, and I talk a lot about cancer because everybody in my family that's died has died of cancer. But if once in a while you'll turn on your news, Frank, and you'll see, the 5-year survival rates of people with cancer has gone up. People are living longer that have cancer. And, the fact of the matter is the cancer industry has an Alice in Wonderland definition of a cure. And that definition is this. If you're diagnosed with cancer today, Frank, and you're just breathing 5 years from now, you're considered cured. So what they have done is they've found ways, and technology has gotten better, where they can find and detect the cancer earlier. So if they detect it earlier, you have that much more of a chance of living or breathing 5 years from then. I mean, it's like if you look at, we're finding other solar systems right now with the technology and the satellites and all the things that we have. We're finding solar systems, planets that never existed before. They're telling you the FDA and the cancer in the pharmaceutical industry and doctors come in early for your mammograms. They're detecting it earlier, which gives people a better chance of breathing 5 years from the time they were diagnosed. And that's the only reason people see the 5-year survival rates getting better. So people are...
Yeah, by doing it that way, it helps the Cancer Society's cause, I guess.
But people are misled all the time. And I think a lot of times people are being misled now, especially CBD is spreading like wildfire across the United States. And some states have come out and banned it. They don't want it in the foods. And it's really, it's painful for a lot of people. I mean, I've known you've had situations, I'm sure, where you haven't been able to get the product and get it to your daughter or the people that you love. And a lot of people out there watching the show, they're in that situation. They're in a state where they can't get it or have access to it as of yet. So talk a little bit about that for a second.
Well, if I could go back to the homeostasis, just to make sure that the public understands. Homeostasis is a neurological and a physiological balance. What more could you ask for inside your body? Now, if you're going to wake up and eat Twinkies for breakfast and drink a 6-pack of beer after dinner, you're not going to attain homeostasis, at least in my opinion. Now, where this homeostasis is concerned, going back to 1939, when cannabis was made illegal, statistically speaking, they know that a year and a half after cannabis was outlawed, that birth defects and miscarriages went up substantially. and it's been strongly suggested that it's because the homeostasis was now missing in society because of refraining from cannabis.
And people out there that are saying, well, and not everybody smoked cannabis. You have to understand, before 1939, hemp and cannabis, it was in the fabric of our society. They made clothes, food. I mean, everything was made with hemp and cannabis. And then it was completely removed. So it wasn't just about, well, the people that were smoking. That's where I think a lot of people get confused. Where when they banned it, this was I mean, cannabis and hemp was in the fabric of our society. It really was.
Kind of like the backbone, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody received cannabinoids in their system, and as a byproduct of just living in America, or just as a byproduct of living. But when they banned it, everybody's endocannabinoid system, as they're calling it today, got depleted for the most part, and disease disease has risen and risen and risen and risen. And I know that that's all anecdotal, but you can look at it; it's very clear that disease has gone up dramatically since 1939, and you're absolutely right. So back to homeostasis. If people were not having access to this, their body they were less likely to achieve that homeostasis or get to homeostasis.
Exactly, right. Don, can I get back to my daughter? I don't know how much time we have.
Please.
And there's more to it. I sent my daughter all the videos, all the literature about what I had learned about CBD, and then there was her brother and the results that he obtained. And after seeing that, my daughter wants to try some CBD. I mean, she is in a position where she's got nothing to lose, because doctors told us years ago, because this is a progressive degenerative muscle disease, and because her heart and lungs and such are muscles, the length of her life would probably come into play. And the way it's looking now, the way she has degraded, she's probably in the final phase of this disease. So, we gave her first dose. And I intentionally did not ask my daughter any questions about what she was experiencing. I wanted her to volunteer to me what this medicine was doing. I didn't know how it was going to help her, but I just knew in my heart of hearts that it was going to. So about just an hour after she took her first dose, she wrote me a note that said, "Daddy, I feel very calm, and at last, my racing thoughts have ended." Now, other things, there's a couple other quotes from my daughter after subsequent dosing. It feels good to feel good in my mind again. That's powerful, Don. It feels good to be able to think. And this one here is the most important one of all. Nothing the doctors ever gave me made me feel this well. 15 years of pharmaceutical drugs never helped my daughter, and she had peace and comfort in her mind in under an hour after her first dose of CBD. Now, we have a problem connected with that. My daughter is tended to by a nursing agency in Baltimore. This nursing agency is overseen by another agency called DDA of Maryland. It's Disabilities Division of something. And they govern all of the nursing agencies. And so after about a dozen doses of this CBD oil, we went to these folks and told them what we were doing. Because initially we had asked for permission and they refused us. So we snuck it to her. And their response was, "We have two choices. We're going to expel your daughter from our program, or you're going to stay away. And if you show up to visit your daughter again, we're going to call the police and insist that you be arrested."
So it's not available in Maryland, even for medicinal reasons? She can't get a medical card?
She could, Don. But I live 2 hours away from my daughter. There's the cost of all of it, if you will, upwards of about $500 initially, including the medicine. But I'm not there to give it to her. They have told me that I could give it to her, but I'm 2 hours away. And I don't want to trust these nurses with the CBD themselves, because just about everything my daughter has owned has come up missing, if you will, and I don't want to get into that too much.
So it helps her tremendously, but they won't administer it to her, or you don't want them to administer it to her.
They will not administer it to her for the following reasons. This nursing agency receives federal funding, and because CBD and cannabis are still against the law
Federally,
they're afraid of losing their federal funding. I think they believe that a federal agent is going to walk into my daughter's bedroom and find her doing this, Duh.
This is something that's non-psychoactive. I just can't believe that the CBD police are out there in full force trying to take CBD away from people. That it's not getting them high, and they're only taking it for medicinal benefits because they feel that they're getting some relief and some benefit from it. I don't understand why we don't have that freedom here in this country. I always say I don't know if you believe in God or not, but I believe God heals His creation with His creation. This is a God-given plant that
it's a self-supporting system.
It is, and why not give it the body its best chance to heal itself naturally before drugs and chemicals and surgery and miracles? That's the bottom line. Why not start with something natural? And if you're getting the benefits, they call this alternative medicine, where traditional medicine should be the alternative.
Actually, it shouldn't be an alternative at all. None of your medicines are found in nature, Don, like cannabis is.
It's interesting, but okay. It just makes me think about the FDA and the FDA. How much money is going to be lost, and 80% of every. This is something to think about, Frank, and I was thinking about it before the show, that 80% of every political contribution is made by a drug company. 80%.
I'm suspicious already.
80% of every political donation is made by a drug company. So it's like CBD, they're just not going to let this go. I'm not sure what's going to happen. There's going to be they're going to fight back in some way, shape, or form. They're going to try to make it a drug, obviously, or you're going to have to use your obviously insurance card, and maybe that would be great. It would make it more affordable. Because the CBD that works, the more potent stuff, when I talk to Dr. Dale Buckman, she recommends that people start on 1,500 milligrams on a 31 milliliter bottle. That's where most people start. And it's an expensive product, but it works for people. So
it might be expensive, but it's priceless.
It's priceless. But if the insurance company started paying for something that worked, wouldn't that be nice? I don't know if we'll ever get to that.
I called Medicare, Medicaid, and 3 or 4 of your major health insurance companies, and I spoke with the chief financial officers of all these corporations. And the comparison I gave them was Prozac compared to CBD. Prozac will run you $120 a month if you pay for it out of your pocket. CBD averages about 60 to 70. So you can see the savings, and it does the same thing. So what I suggested to them, let's say you got 10 million people in your client base, and 1 million of these folks are using Prozac, and you're going to save $70 per person per month. And I don't think it's any coincidence that in less than a year the government came out with their own CBD, my friend.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to end. Yeah, and I don't think it's going to end there. They're going to come out with more and more products. It's going to be, I don't think they can stop it medicinally. I think the medicinal end of cannabis, I think by the next election, I think people are going to have the rights to get medicinal cannabis and CBD across the country. I really believe that. I believe the industry is so big and the cat is out of the bag now. It'd be like pulling down a 747 with a rope. It's like it's almost impossible to do, and the uproar from people out in the community that have seen the benefits of CBD. The backlash would be tremendous. So I think medically, on a medicinal level, Go out there and get your medical card, because I think that's here to stay for sure. And I hope CBD is going to be available to everyone across the country, and it's going to be easily accessible and less expensive for people to get the real CBD, because there's a lot. And before we go, because we only have a few minutes, and I want to let you talk a little bit more about your daughter. There's a lot of different CBDs on the market. You know, there's isolates. Dr. Dale recommends a full spectrum CBD. Yeah, because you know, you're not picking it apart. You're getting the whole plant. So from all the experts that I talk about, they talk about using a full spectrum CBD oil. So it's just really interesting, and I think you'll see more and more information coming out that CBD on the suppression of CBD, because you know, the pharmaceuticals, they can set up studies to fail. I mean, you can set up a CBD study to fail. Just give them, you know, less, like for instance, when you're giving someone 200 milligrams of CBD and they really need 1,000. I mean, it's like trying to kill an elephant with a BB gun. It's not going to happen. So, you know, you have to get the right product, and you know, make sure that the people that are using the product are using it in the right dosage, and they're getting the right form, because there's a lot of marketers out there that put CBD on the label, and there's just a very little CBD in the product.
If any, yeah.
If any. So you have to know who you're buying the product from. Because it's very, you know, it's a little bit like the Wild Wild West to some degree.
Don, I got to mention this to demonstrate to the public how very powerful medicinal cannabis is. Now, if you consider, if you will, most of the time when I fill my pipe, it's nothing more than a pinch between my finger and my thumb. No more than a pinch of salt that you would sprinkle on your food. And do you know that 90% of the benefit is burnt off when you smoke it, but it still works?
Yeah.
Now, where my daughter is concerned, my home state of Maryland grows, imports, processes, and sells marijuana as medicine. But a representing agency of Maryland, namely DDA, is denying my daughter access to it. That is discrimination. It is a violation of civil rights and civil liberty, because she should be able to go and buy her own CBD over the counter as I do. And it is also a denial of the most basic human right, and that is to treat yourself. If you can refuse a medication when you're in a hospital or at the doctor, you should have the privilege of picking one that works as well.
So your daughter now, she don't have any problem getting the product? She has a good supply of the product?
No, she hasn't had it in several months.
You're kidding me.
No.
So unless you go down there and give her and administer the product yourself, she's not getting the product?
Correct. And like I said, it's a 2-hour ride for me, and I certainly couldn't do that every day.
No wonder why you're so angry.
Oh, you just have no idea what the emotions that I have went through.
And there's nothing else. There's no pharmaceutical drug. There's nothing else out there that makes her feel the way, like what she wrote to you.
Yeah. I mean, she's living proof. I mean, my children's stories cannot be denied. I mean,
I hear story after story how, you know, you say calming the mind. And I hear a lot about the anxiety, and kids today have anxiety like never before. I mean, it's like every kid I talk to, oh, he has anxiety, she has anxiety. Everybody has anxiety today. And I hear about CBD, and I know it's a lot of anecdotal information, but when people take CBD, kids take CBD, their anxiety levels go down. And that's without...
It's happiness in a bottle.
Happiness in a bottle.
It really is, Don. And the only way to find out, folks, is to try it yourself. It's tried and true where I'm concerned. And I know there are people that are in much worse shape than my kids. But, I mean, and I know my kids are only 2 studies, if you want to call it that, But for this father, they're 100% fixed.
But you feel this information is still being suppressed out there, obviously. Not only the information,
Yeah,
but
and
but the product is being suppressed, and the people that need it, a lot of them can't get access to it.
they're being deprived of it. I mean, I can buy CBD oil at no less than five places between here and Baltimore. 3 of them right here in St. Michael's, where I live.
So we could go on and on, but your daughter has not had access to this medicine for months. She wants access to this medicine, just like millions of other people around the country that live in the states where they can't get access to it.
Yeah, it just brings a balance with your mental health, and I can't let that go, Don. I mean, the first time I ever ordered CBD, the day that it came in, I had a headache. I put some under my tongue and just moseyed along, and about 3 or 4 minutes went by, and it's like, whoa, my headache's gone already. I got a lady here in St. Michael's. She stopped to talk to me one day when I was working in my garden. She stated that she was bipolar. I told her about my son and that she should try this. So she took a dose, and we continued to talk. And Don, not 5 minutes went by, and she said, "Sir, I got to interrupt you." She said, "I never told you this, but I got scoliosis, and I am in pain all day, every day." She said, "It's only been 5 minutes, and I stand here pain-free as we speak."
And that's what I mean. It works right away. That's what I hear. I mean, it's all across the board when I hear people that have had results with it. It's not like, well, I had to take it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. I took it, and within 15, 20 minutes, or less than an hour in many cases, I got the benefit that I was looking for. That's exciting, because you know whether it works right away or not. I mean, that's what people want, that instant gratification today. And if you get the right CBD, the full spectrum CBD, in the right amounts, like they talk about on the Green Nurse radio show on Wednesday nights, it works, and it works right away. And, we talked on the phone the other night, and if people just go out there and Google or go on YouTube and look out pets and CBD, because there's no placebo effect when it comes to pets. And you see so many dogs that have seizures that when given the CBD oil, within less than a minute in many cases, the seizure stops and the dog is fine. And again, there's no placebo effect with animals. So there's obviously something to it. There's no side effects. It's a God-given plant, and it's really taken America by storm. So if you haven't tried CBD, or if you have a condition, and you mentioned some of the conditions at the beginning of the show, Frank, and I want to make it clear on our show that we don't diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease. We just talk about real life experiences. Nothing can cure, prevent, or treat a disease in this country unless it's a drug, according to the FDA, and that's pretty sad. So I do have to give you that disclaimer that this isn't a cure. We're not trying to represent this as a medicine in any way. It's all we're saying is do your own research. When it comes to health, you have to take your health into your own hands. Okay?
Exactly.
I mean, that's what people really have to understand, and that's what Dr. Dale Buckman really conveys so well on the Green Nurse show on Wednesday nights, is people have to take control of their own health. Don't wait for the doctors and the hospitals. They're not going to come to your door and make you healthy. Okay? Health isn't just going to fall from the sky. You have to do your own research and get your own information. And, and it's all out there. The internet today is such a wonderful, powerful tool that we have access to information from all around the world right at our desk. So, Frank, we only have a couple minutes left. Are there any last thoughts you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, I would like the audience to recognize that I have not mentioned one CBD company, and I have used approximately 8 over the last 2 years, only searching for the better one or the best one. I am not affiliated with any company. I'm not going to make any money off of this. I'm not being compensated. It's just, to me, goodness begets goodness, and this is a good thing, and I'm going to pass it on. It's too good to be true to me.
So it's about spreading the word and getting the message out there. Again, you're not affiliated with any CBD company. You're not here to make money. You're just telling a story so other people can learn from that and pass that on. And that's how people,
Exactly.
that's what it's all about. So Frank, I want to thank you for coming on the show. And I know Dr. Dale is going to have you on the Green Nurse Show in the next couple of weeks. So I'll talk to you in the next couple of days anyways. And thanks for coming on.
Well, I'm looking forward to the Green Show, whatever that was. Absolutely. And Don, I want to thank you equally for what you do.
All right. Well, thank you, Frank. And I'll talk to you soon.
Have a grand day. Take care.
So that was Frank Kahler, and he reached out to us on Facebook after really trying to reach out to all the major media outlets, 60 Minutes, ABC News, NBC, and tell his story, because his daughter is obviously being denied access to CBD. She's mentally challenged, and it helps her, just like he said on the show a few minutes ago, the notes that she wrote to her about how she felt after she took CBD. I mean, as a father, it's heartbreaking, I would imagine, to not be able to get or provide that medication, natural medication, to his daughter, or have it provided at the home that she's in. So Frank, I know you're out there, you're getting your story out there, and you're telling people about CBD, so I want to thank you again for calling into the show. Folks, CBD is spreading like wildfire. You know, the Green Nurse radio show on Wednesday nights, they talk a lot about full spectrum CBD. In greennurse.com, you're going to be seeing products. They're going to have a line of products on greennurse.com that's going to have the full spectrum CBD that you can order right online, and you can know it's the best product on the market. So there's so much of information coming out all the time. I mean, turn on your news, folks. Go to the internet. Whether it's medicinal cannabis, CBD, whether it's the law. I mean, the laws are changing all the time in all these different states about legal cannabis and people having access to medicinal cannabis. And I believe by the next election that people all over the country are going to have access to medicinal cannabis and CBD. We'll see what happens. We're going to follow the story all along, because that's what we do here on the Cannabis Radio Network. On my show, on the Barrett Report, I'm here every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Also, we have the Average Joe Grow Show, which is one of our most popular shows. Jake Ganem, he's one of the founders here at the Cannabis Radio Network. He has a show where he shows people how to grow right from home. The average person, how to grow right from home. I mean, it's simple, easy, and systematic. He's one of the greatest teachers out there, because he shows you, he's like a school teacher in many ways, where he shows you step by step how to do it in one little closet in your home, if you will. So tune into his show. That's on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. So that's the Average Joe Grow. Obviously, the Green Nurse Show is on Wednesday nights. And we have a few more shows that are coming out in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned to the Cannabis Radio Network. We have big things coming, including the CRN Insiders program. So if you haven't got information on that yet, by the way, go to the website and click CRN Insiders, because that's going to get you a discount as a cannabis user at all types of supply stores, dispensaries. It's the AAA card for the cannabis industry, and it's now available. It's the CRN Insiders card. Just email us or message us on Facebook, and we'll get you all that information. My name is Donald Barrett, and we'll see you next time on the Cannabis Radio Network and the Barrett Report. Thanks for being with us.